Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It looks like the room is filled up. That's awesome. Now, I've got some workarounds to work around, but I think I got everything going now. So this is my official welcome to you. Thanks for joining us this evening in the Shower Door Rose live. Yeah. Hope you're having a great week so far. It's hump day, and this is how we celebrate it by getting together and talking about shower doors and stuff. Um, yeah, hey, if you're in the group and you want to join us, it's probably too late because I'm probably not going to let you in. But so make sure that you show up every Wednesday. Get here, a couple of minutes early. We get the stream started. We all pile in here, and then it's just too complicated to let people in. It's just too much going on after we get started. So don't be tardy. Be here on time, and you can be on the call. And so with that, I would like to invite the lovely Christina to come on and talk a little bit about the co-op, where we're at, and what kind of progress we're making, and all that good stuff. What do you say?
Hi, I'm Christina, and we have a co-op that we're starting. It's a cooperative. If you're not familiar with what that is, that just means that we're going to get together some of our businesses and join forces to be able to do awesome things on a larger scale. So um, there's a lot of information about that. There's a whole other video presentation about that. We talk about it every week. So my update for you all this week is that we have finally landed logo. It's taken a lot of iterations. It's taken a lot of time. There were a lot of considerations that went into this. There may be people that don't like it. I am really sorry to hear that, but I think that we have landed on a logo. So super excited. I'm posting that in the chat right now. It looks like it's coming through. It is the Shower Door Professionals verified logo. There's also going to be a version of this that says co-op, where verified is. But the verified has that little V checkmark situation going on to say that if you're a part of the co-op, you can put this emblem on your marketing. Things like the home mag, or things like your website or a blog post or an Instagram, whatever you want to do. You'll have access to this logo that says you're a verified vetted member of the Shower Door Professionals Cooperative. And so somebody has done some due diligence with the cooperative and said, you're great. You're awesome. You are a legitimate shower door company. You're not just a chuck in a truck, throwing something in from Home Depot. That is not our business. So that's where we are. And just one image says a lot about who you are as a company and what you're a part of. So that's what we have created. And once again, there will be the word co-op, where the word verified is, as well. So we'll have kind of two versions of that. And later, well, doesn't matter. We have a lot. So that's that.
That's awesome. Thanks, Christina. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of boxes that need to be checked, and that's just another kind of milestone on the process. So got a few things done, kind of put together kind of a bullet point list of things, and that we need to get accomplished, in a given amount of time. So congratulations, bravo, great job, team. Keep up the great work. I'm stoked. So
yeah, and one last thing, Chris, I'm sorry to interrupt.
go ahead.
We are starting to vet. We've had a lot of people in this call and on the page express interest in helping. And at the time, we didn't really know what we needed, and now we do. And so we're starting to kind of, on a preliminary scale, like vet some pre-members, if you will, some like volunteer members. And if people can, if you're interested in helping us set this up at this stage, we would really love to have the help. So let us know. You can personal message me, Rob, Chris, Brad, Shannon, and all of us are happy to get you looped in. You can also sign up on showerdoorprofessionals.com to
Absolutely.
get
Yeah.
information.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and naturally, if you're one of the early adopters, one of the people who, are willing to kind of be a pioneer in this thing, there's going to be incentives for that. So we're going to want, people to get in and kind of, help, like with the vetting process. It's going to be, a little bit of work, making sure that people, that are in the co-op are people that we're going to want to feel good about referring to other people, working, shoulder to shoulder with, like Christina's alluding to, want to be inclusive, but not to the point to where, there's people who there are unsavory characters, whatever, coming in. So that's something we're going to need help with. It's going to take some effort to really vet everybody as they're coming in. So
Chris,
thanks very much. Yes,
can I add some?
please.
Christina, that is a fantastic logo. I think you've done an amazing job with this. A lot of stuff. I'm sorry I couldn't stick with you during all of your work that you've put into it, but I'm amazed. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
Well, we'll
Bill.
circle back to you, Bill. You'll get another chance.
I hope so.
Chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, we'll
We
be
know
a
you got
part
a
of
lot
it.
going on.
Yeah, I do. But that's a fantastic logo. I think you put that on your advertising, it jumps.
Mhm.
It's really well done. It's simplified enough and it got the message across. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, Christina had that idea of, that making it like a verified, kind of like that green check mark of like,
Yeah.
yeah, you qualify for this, So it's coming along.
As we move forward, I guess I got to find out what legal ramifications do you have if you find people using that logo that haven't been verified, and you
Right.
find out whether it's through the home mag or somewhere they saw it. What legal ramifications do you have?
Exactly. I mean, those are all things that, we're discussing and have to, sort out. And
Yeah.
It's a really good question, Bill. And the answer is right now, I don't know the answer. But I will say it's not that we haven't talked about it. It just wasn't the top priority, but that is really important because if people are, buying into this program, we want to
Yep.
make sure that somebody else isn't utilizing these things. So that is a question that I will bring up the next time we meet with the lawyer, which is June 18th. We have a meeting with the attorney on June 18th.
That's right.
Okay. All right.
And the cool thing about a logo like this is you can do a web search and you can find out where that image is everywhere on the internet. Like Rob could probably speak to this a bit more. We've got Rob on our team, so I mean,
I will find you.
yeah, I mean, he's gonna find you. Man.
I will find you.
So it's like, and if nothing else, we'll embarrass you. We'll get on this call and we'll just call you out and say, hey man, you're not on there, take that thing down, right? So we've got, the power of persuasion and public humiliation. Anyway,
I'll share a story because it might apply to a lot of guys on the call that happened to me. When we first moved down, you remember this book that the telephone company used to send out called the Yellow Pages, which is kind of outdated now. But we first moved to Naples and a book came out, and God, I recognized the shower door in the picture of a competitor. And I really took a closer look at it and said, this guy can't use it. That's one of our doors. And so a competitor took one of our pictures and posted it in his Yellow Page ad.
Oh, wow.
Which is crazy. So I went over to the guy to somewhat confront him and say, hey, you can't do this. You don't have the right to do it. And he responded with 2 words, and it was sue me.
Oh, I didn't think those. I thought you were going to say 2
Yeah.
other words.
Yeah, I know, everybody does. But he said, sue me. So I said, okay,
All right.
that's what you want. So anyhow, we did. And the funny part is, if you own that, like we will own this, like when a guy takes out an ad, you have to fill out a form to the advertiser that they own that photo and have every right to do it. And he filled out that with the Yellow Pages. So the Yellow Pages thought that they were in the clear, but they're not. So I had 2 suits. If I sued them, I also had to sue the Yellow Pages for using a non-licensed and a copyrighted photo. So ended how we went into mediation, and I ended up winning. I offered, and he brought a lawyer in. He was trying to defend it, and the lawyer says, first of all, you got to prove that that's your photo. I said, well, that's pretty easy. If you want to get in your car, you can go to my house because that's my shower, my house. So that kind of
He
stopped
picked
him in
your
his track.
shower door.
It was well, we used it on one of our brochures. The guy must have grabbed our brochure, copied it, and used that and sent it in.
What are the odds?
Yeah, it was in my favor, right? So anyhow, that shut the lawyer up for a while. We ended up settling, and I actually got paid $10,000
Nice.
for it. Now, we were trying to sue him. We said, look, we can license you because the Yellow Pages are already out there. You can't retract them, and they're out there for a year. So the proper way to do it is license out the use of that for every image.
Yeah.
So how many Yellow Pages are out there? And there was, I don't know, 100,000 Yellow Pages. I said, okay, 5 cents an image every time. So I started adding that. Okay. So anyhow, we won 10,000 from the Yellow Pages, and that guy ended up going out of business, and I never got paid from him, even though I won in the mediation. And I was just lucky that I got paid from the Yellow Pages because the guy that owned that franchise, the Yellow Pages, was trying to sell it. And now that there's a suit on it, his deal wouldn't have gone through. He was already in the due diligence phase where somebody was going to buy it. And now that's an outstanding suit, and he had to clear it up. So it's either lose his sale or clear the suit, which he did. Mm-hmm. So I was fortunate there too. But it just goes to show you that people will do unscrupulous things if you allow it. So you've got to be very diligent. I'm sure this lawyer is going to put Christina on the right track to say somehow you're either going to copyright it or trademark it or whatever you've got to do to consider that the group's intellectual property. Mm-hmm. And somewhere on that logo, you might have to put either a copyright logo or a trademark logo to let everyone know that logo. Now, if you see it, they've even altered it to, delete or Photoshop out your copyright, mm-hmm. which is a bigger infringement. Now it's not just, oh, I made a mistake. Now they intentionally did it. So just a short story for anybody that's in business that, it's not as prevalent now with the internet, like Rob can track anybody down in a heartbeat. But years ago, I mean, you just had to stumble across a print ad somewhere and see if they're using your product or not.
Yeah, probably like a friend or a customer will call you up and say, hey, I just saw your image on somebody else's website or something.
Yeah. I mean, what helped us, obviously, is we were doing pivots back then and nobody was doing pivots. So when I saw the ad in the book with a pivots, I go, okay, let's take a closer look at it. Yeah. Those things happen, man. Yeah. It happens all the time. I see it on different things, and you just got to be ready for that. Let's put it this way. Expect it to happen. If some guy in a shower door company across the country sees that and say, oh, I'm going to grab that and put it on my advertising, or I'll probably stick it on my truck or whatever they do, like they do at Angie's List. Angie's List is one that will stick up, or if you put an Angie's List thing on without subscribing, they will go after you.
Yeah, or like that diamond certified or something like that. That's
Yeah, whatever,
expensive. If you've ever
whatever
looked
it
into
is.
that diamond certified thing, it is not cheap. Even Better Business Bureau, right? It used to be like
That's
it
another
was
one. Yeah,
it was a few bucks, to get on the Better Business Bureau or whatever. Now it's like $600 a year, some crazy thing. It's
yeah,
like, yeah, no thanks. It's all right.
yeah. I just consider it like stolen valor, you know.
Yeah.
They say they're certified and they're not at all. But then again, there's guys out there saying they're licensed and they're not. They'll put in their ads licensed and insured. And then the inspector goes out and the guy says, well, here's my driver's license and I got car insurance. So I'm not lying. I am licensed and insured, just not for shower doors.
That's right.
Or like that happened to.
I better change the way I do business then. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm
Hey, I
licensed and insured to drive a car.
Yeah, exactly. Or I've got liability insurance. Yeah.
have a quick comment and then question to y'all. So when it comes to pictures of our showers, of course, you took that picture yourself. That is your property. Lots of pictures are out there of our showers, and that just is what it is. And nothing you can do about it. I tend to feel proud. We took a picture, or no, we did a shower that was an awesome shower that happens to be the front cover of National Glass Association manual.
Nice.
And the contractor had the pictures taken. And the contractor actually had the pictures taken by a photographer who makes most of his money doing stock photos. So when I submitted this picture to the NGA and said, you guys can use this one if you want to, they're like, can we get the confirmation? Then, and so I checked in with him and he's like, oh yeah, it's all just, by the image. I'm like, okay. So I bought it and everything. I have since seen it, that Sam hardware company.
Oh yeah, yeah.
When they send out ads, there's my shower. But I
No,
tend to just be
really.
proud. Yeah. Like,
Right.
okay.
Are they
Now
in China? Are they in China?
I have no idea. I've only been seeing the emails come through. I haven't checked into them. They say that their rates are really low, and I looked and they were, and then they have all this, ask for free samples, but I haven't dug into it. But my question part of it is, so many of our contractors are posting the showers that we've built on social media. And of course, on social media, you can repost, retweet, whatever. Does anybody know the actual legal, how much can you use those things that, our contractors have put out there? They put out beautiful pictures. I'd love to know what I can do with them without, breaking the law.
Yeah, I mean, until somebody tells you you can't, you pretty much can, And the way that a copyright works, it's interesting because I've filed like a number of copyright registrations, right? So what most people don't understand about a copyright is that you have a copyright. Anything you create, any photo you take, anything you write, if you write a song, if you write a poem, if you write a letter, anything, you immediately have the copyright because you're the inventor of it. So when you fill out a form and submit it to the Library of Congress, you're registering that copyright. So you're just making an additional record to the fact that you own that intellectual property. Now, you don't have to do that. You own it. You don't have to register it with the Library of Congress in order to own it. You do own it, but it's just an additional level of, claiming the property. And that's why I don't know if you ever heard the story of how people would take something, write it down, put it in an envelope, mail it to themselves.
Yeah.
And then so they would have a postmark proving when they created it. So it gave it a date. A cool thing now that you can do is you can post something on YouTube. So if you post a video on YouTube, there's a date stamp on it that proves that it existed as of the time that you posted it. It's just as good as a copyright because you can prove that you created that, unless somebody comes up with an earlier version with a an earlier date. And copyrights are cheap. I mean, I haven't done one in a few years, but I think when I last did one, it was like $20. And you could literally like let's say you're an artist and you draw pictures and you want to copyright your pictures. You can take a whole collection, you could take a whole book with like 1,000 pictures and copyright it as a volume and one copyright. So for like $20, you can copyright your entire collection, whatever. And it's registered. So those are it's pretty much everything I know about copyrights.
So taking it to the next level now, you find that somebody's infringed on your copyright. In order for it to make sense for you to go after it, it ultimately comes down to you have to show damages.
Right.
How did they damage you by using it? And if you can't come up with damages or get a court order to go after your competitor's books, the real set of books, you're probably not going to be able to prove much or even gain much. The only thing you may get from it is a cease and desist to them to not use it any longer. But as far as collecting money, you probably won't. Now, in an image, if somebody's reposting that image that you own to another publication, you can, and you're an artist that makes money for those images, now you can show damages that I normally get $1 an image, $2 an image, whatever that case is, and this is how many times they've used the image. It's how much business did you lose because somebody took your thing and started showing it somewhere else that infringed on your business. That's a really hard number to even try and calculate legitimately. So it's almost like a patent, the same thing. You get a patent for something, and if somebody infringed it, you have to claim damages. How much did you lose because somebody copied it? Unless you have big dollars, it's not worth doing because you'd be pouring money after lawyers and still not getting reimbursement. I mean, I've heard of hundreds of people that win claims in court and never got paid, even though they won their case.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Collecting is a whole nother story.
Whole other story.
And with a now with a trademark, it's different than a copyright. With a trademark, you are obligated to defend it. So if you and they're expensive, they're not $20. They're like, I think they're like there's thousands of dollars to trademark something. And once you have that trademark, if somebody uses it, you're legally obligated to sue them. Because if you don't defend your trademark, you'll lose it. So that's part of the condition of having a trademark. And that's another thing a lot of people don't know. A copyright's not like that. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to sue somebody for using copyrighted material, because, like I say, you automatically, technically, you have a copy without registering it. But it's a whole different thing with a trademark. So if you're going to trademark something, you're committing to going to war, if anybody tries to use it.
Yeah, actually, you got to be careful there because some businesses use that as a tactic to deplete your money. If they're a large business and they just go after your trademark and you're obligated to defend it, you don't have the money to defend it.
Yeah, exactly. That's way like a big business can take down a small business like that.
Yeah.
Gotta watch out for those guys.
Yeah. Well,
yes, good topic, man. Intellectual property.
That took a turn.
Yeah.
Well, it started off with Christine's very nice logo. And here we go from there. But if we are putting together this something, I mean, at this point, we're all in business together, or anybody that's going to join this co-op,
Right.
you're all in it together. So it is a topic for us to talk about and consider. And I don't know if the attorney that Christine is talking with is an intellectual property attorney, or if he's just someone to do with corporations and setting them up. But there are attorneys that are specifically for intellectual property. That's all they do is copyright, trademark, things
Yeah,
of that.
that's true. Yeah. What about that, Christina?
That's something actually I'm going to talk to the designer about, because he designed our logo, and I believe he also handled the copywriting of our logo for our business. So I can talk to him about that, because he'll actually know a lot about that. The attorney we're talking to specializes in cooperatives, so definitely a different specialty.
Yeah.
But in specializing in cooperatives have logos, and he's probably been asked this question more than once. So I'll get both sides, both opinions. I'll get all the opinions, and I will come back to you all with some feedback on that. I have
Yeah,
no
Yes.
problem doing that.
If you need any more opinions, like we've got a bunch of them right here too, So
And we got a lot of members that will
Yeah.
all give you their opinions.
No shortage of opinions.
So Christina, let me ask you this. You paid already for the logo?
We have not paid already, but that is actually my next email to this designer, because we have a relationship with him. He knows, he kind of did it in good faith to get started. We've been working with him for more than a decade.
Oh, good. So you have a good relationship. Just get something in writing that you do have the right to this logo. That his fee was for creating it for you, so it's your property.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So the email is out to him right now to get all of the color codes and the fonts and the .ai of it and all of that good stuff. But yes, he has always been that way. We've always been that way with him. He's known that, and it's been that way with our business logo.
So let me
But
ask
good
this.
point. I'm glad you brought that up.
Let me ask the next question, because I noticed that somebody kind of played off of our business. I saw a myshowerdoor.net out there out of Texas. So on our domain names, did we get a lot of extensions? Did we get the .biz, .org, .glass, because they're not.
We have
they're
not. Right. That's a good heads up, Bill. Yeah, we've got a few, but we haven't got them all. So definitely put them in the list.
It is worth noting, and Rob has been really on top of it. So thank you, Rob, for all of the things that you're doing technologically. But it's worth noting that somebody I think in this group owns showerdoorpros.com, which is why we are truly spelling out professionals, shower door professionals, and why the logo says shower door professionals. So that's an important distinction as well that I'd like to make. And no issue with shower door pros. Live your life, do your business, but we are shower door professionals co-op.
Right. That's good comment though, Bill. Yeah, man, that's get all those, might as well get all those extensions. It's like, it seems like the .com is what's expensive, .net, and then all the other little, there's 100 other little ones. They get less expensive, as they're right.
Mm-hmm.
I bet .glass is pretty cheap.
.glass is probably pretty cheap, it's like, and also, I wanted to mention, it's like, that wasn't like the first iteration of the logo. So it's like, there's like been some, there's been a whole process of getting to this point with it, and so we've looked at a bunch of logos, talked about it, criticized it, went back and forth with the guy. The guy's been really, really cool about incorporating all of our thoughts, and it's like, how it is when you try to do something with a committee, man, it's not that easy to do, but this group is really great. And and at some point you have to say, okay, this is good enough for now.
You know what I really like, because I've worked with a lot of businesses that are creating logos, and everybody, well, Andrea, there you go. Adrian's right there. The guys are holding glass. Doing glass in a logo is not easy.
Yeah.
So
True.
you stayed away from it. You did the shower head. It still gives the same message. It's really good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It wasn't our idea. It was actually his idea. The shower head was not, on our radar at all.
Yeah.
And actually, when I first saw it, I was like, oh man, I don't know. That was my knee jerk reaction. Shower head? I'm not sure. We're not plumbing, but then as we thought about it, it's like, no, that it actually is good because we're, to that common person out there, it says shower,
Yeah.
It actually, I think it works pretty well.
And those colors that are in that logo are set, or are you playing with those?
I think we like the colors. I think we're there. We like the kind of the green
Mhm.
to kind of give that like green light, verified, that kind of a feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, Christina?
And it's a bit electric. It's a pop of color there that probably most members don't already have in their logo, so it should pop in their advertising. And then blue is a sense of like calm and trustworthiness. So I think we've talked about it before, but all these colors kind of mean something. So
Yeah.
that we wanted to stick with the blue, definitely. The green came later, but that pop really helps.
Mhm.
It's fantastic. It really is good. It's really good.
Mhm.
So yeah,
I do believe, just so you know, I do believe John, the guy who made that logo, in an email, and I'll double check this, but I think in an email he said he would have no problem, giving us the logo, and that would be our property. That would not, be an issue. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain that he already sent us something on that, and we can make it more official.
Fantastic.
Well,
So-
now that we've like shown it online, I guess we're gonna have to like pay for it, right? We're pretty much like
Sure.
you break it, you buy it.
This
Well,
guy is very
Well, and that's the-
easygoing, so we'll, and he'll probably be pretty inexpensive, and we'll go ahead and knock this out as far as a payment, so that we make it official for
Cool.
sure.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. We want to be in good faith with everybody. So we are becoming I believe, a corporation. I don't know, Chris, if you saw the latest emails and everything, but I've been kind of going back and forth with Audrey today and yesterday about becoming a corporation and getting the bank account set up. So right now, I know Rob is doing a lot out of pocket. I paid the attorney CPA out of pocket. So we're getting some stuff done, and we'll hopefully get reimbursed for that once we start having members and things like that, because cooperatives don't have profit at the end of the year. So just so everyone knows, it's not a profit situation. It's resource based.
Does it have losses?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully
It
not.
could.
That's a
It
great
could
question.
though. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it could.
potentially
First
it
year or
could.
two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. First year or two, it could.
I mean, whether it's in the bank account or not, at least on the tax books, it could show a profit, it could show a loss.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't know enough about co-ops, how that works. But does that mean that there will be a tax return to every member, or a K-1 that goes out to every member?
Oh, that's a great question.
It's a
A
really good
K1.
question. That's why we have a CPA, a co-op CPA. She went over all of this with us about 3 or 4 weeks ago, but I don't remember off the top of my head, but I do know that there's something called patronage dividends, and I believe we will be doing that annually. So whatever is left over becomes a patronage dividend. Please don't quote me on that. We don't have our bylaws official yet, but that is, if I remember correctly, what we have decided on. So that would be how that works. Patronage dividends. I don't believe it's a K1. I think it's a different might actually be like a 1099 NEC or something like that. I just can't remember what she said. Shannon, do you remember?
Well, I just did a quick Google search, and if Google's right, then it is a K1. Yeah, but
Oh, okay.
every member has their own little account or in an accounting
A
that's on
register
the
of some
books.
sort.
Yeah, and so if there's positive, then that amount goes in on the books in a positive way. If it's negative, it goes on the books in a negative way. Again, it just passes through. So it's not like, you know, we would need to collect money from everybody on, you know, on the down years. But, and then they have this thing like Christina was saying, there's no profit. So there's this patronage account. Well, actually, I think you could do profit, but they're like, don't do it. So so you can retain up to 80% of what members have paid in. And so that allows you to take the good years, retain money to pay then for the bills that come on the next project that you want to do or the next year. Because again, timing is like, you know, year end, you happen to be at this spot. So yeah, it basically comes down to passing it through and keeping track of every member has their own little accounting
Mhm.
and reconciliation.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah. Good questions.
You know, Bill, I don't know. Can you guys hear me? I
Yes.
guess I'm
Yep.
okay.
Go ahead, Brad.
You know, hey, Bill. Hey, you might, I mean, I think it's probably still okay. I mean, I think there's a lot of value if you join the meeting on Tuesday mornings, if you're available to kind of ask some of these good, poignant questions that you come up with.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I've been taken off the list, I think. So whoever puts me on. No, I mean, I used to get them regularly and then I haven't. So
We'll
put it
fix
back
that.
in.
We'll fix that.
Put it back in. At least give me the heads up reminder and I'll try and make a point.
Yeah, because like
Well,
Brad's saying,
yeah.
even if it was occasionally, man, it would be super valuable, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons I haven't been saying much about it because I'm not in the loop really, other than the updates on the Wednesday nights. But I'm very, very excited to see how good this is done. You guys done an amazing job. Kudos, kudos, kudos.
Yeah.
Well, mostly Shannon and Christina. I mean,
That's true.
you know, they are like really on it. And so.
And
Very
then
good.
Rob, you know, Rob is like the mule, you know?
And Rob, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, Rob.
He does all the actual work.
Yeah.
No, I'm the silent one.
Yeah.
I'm just there.
I'm
just next to all
the
people.
slacker now. I think I'm the slacker, and I feel bad about it.
We're the idea guys, me and you. We're like, we have ideas.
Yeah.
And then the ladies like put it together. And then Rob actually does the work.
I think we're a group where every one of us thinks that the others are doing more than us, and so we keep trying to keep up, but that, you know, it's a positive, never-ending spiral upward as we try and keep up with each other.
Yeah, and it's fun. I mean, it's like we're having fun. It's really, you know, everybody's so nice, you know. I mean, except for me, but everybody else is really nice. You know, so it's like it's fun. It's fun working together on something like this. And when you see a little bit of progress happening, it's like pretty exciting. So anyway.
And again, like Christina said, we're almost ready to add more people to the fun.
That's right.
Yep.
Looking at you, Lena.
So
We got your messages, Lena. I will be reaching out.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry. Thank you for confirming,
Well,
Rob. Maybe 10, I think.
No. Yeah.
I got all
Awesome.
7 of your form fills. We will be
Okay.
reaching out. We are finally ready.
I'm
Yeah, just keep applying. Just keep applying for it.
okay. Will do.
Awesome.
Well, it's funny because we started actually trying to vet, like kind of quote unquote vet pre members yesterday in our meeting, and then it just dawned on me, we don't have a form. We don't have an actual form. Like, we have all the things bullet pointed on a list. And so of course Rob just spun up a form and just, we just started doing it. And for only an hour a week of meeting together, I think we get a pretty good amount done. So I'm really, really thankful for the group that we have here. If you don't know, Shannon actually has a background as a CPA, and Rob, of course, is an incredible kind of software consultant. So we have a really, really good mix.
I keep trying to tell Christina that there are no co-op classes when you're getting your CPA, you're going to school and getting your license. Co-op is not on the agenda, so I'll be learning along with everybody.
I'm sure there's probably like a chapter out there. It's kind of like what doctors learn about nutrition there in their education. Like, there's a class. Well, okay, so I don't want to spend the entire hour talking about co-op stuff, but I could. It's fun. What
Can I ask a
is
question?
yeah.
Does anybody have their federal trademark in this group?
Federal trademark?
Yes.
Federal trademark.
No. I take that back. I do have a trademark for our logo. Yes. Yes.
Does that include your name?
Well, our trademark of our logo is our name, right?
Mm-hmm.
The logo is My Shower Door. So that, yes, it does. But it's funny, you have to send it to them with applications of which you're using it in. So I had to take pictures of the magazine that we were putting it in and send them printed copies of that. It got approved, but that's some of the hoops you had to jump through.
Did you do it on
And
a state level or national?
National.
have you had to defend it yet?
No. The closest infringement, and technically it's not an infringement, so I didn't do anything, is the guy that did shower door, myshowerdoor.net. And he owns the domain name for that. Nothing I can do about it. Stupid for us not to buy it. He bought it legitimately, but that opened up an idea of us buying a plethora of domain names. I think we have 55 or 60 domain names, and then when you buy them, you just funnel them to your main page.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
Because
we got a national as well, the trademark. We got the national. We did like you. We bought a bunch of URLs.
Yeah.
The problem is, Bill, that there are a lot of people using the name Shower Door Guy, but we haven't been able to. I mean, I brought it up to our attorney and he said that we couldn't defend it because we're not operating in that service area.
Oh, there's somewhere else in another part of the country? They're using that same name? Yeah.
Yeah, there are like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Well, there's one in Canada, so can't really do anything about that. And then there's about 3 others that I'm aware of, but I don't know of others than that.
They're fun and new. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
So
it goes back to what Chris said, now you have to defend it. Of course, they're not big corporations necessarily, so it might be a little easier.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really funny story. When we were Mr. Shower Door and we transitioned to My Shower Door, we didn't have the domain name My Shower Door. And I actually had to buy it from somebody else that owned it. And the other person that owned it, and this goes back over 10 years, is actually in this group. Never on the phone call, but is part of the group. And I was so thankful that he sold it. And yes, he made money on it, and God bless him. I paid more than I paid more than I would have, but it meant that much to us to do it. And I was thankful that he saw it that way.
Yeah,
Well,
I
there was-
paid a lot for ours. I mean, but it made sense.
It does,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look at the other one that I sent you. The guy was trying to sell me one. I thought it would be better for you guys, so I sent it on to you, and I think you did buy it. as
Yeah,
an
I
extra
did.
domain
I
name.
can't remember what one it was, but I bought it.
It was like georgiashowerdoors.com.
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah.
It was great. Thank you for doing that, Bill. And that's
Yeah.
what this network is about. It's so
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But you know what happens? They keep coming up with these new extensions. It's just another source of money. So all of a sudden there'll be .USA or something. You know,
Well, there's dot glass.
Yeah,
They've
yeah,
got
there is
glass.
.glass. There is.
yeah, we like that class.
Brad,
Pretty cool.
Brad has frameless.glass, which is hysterical to me.
Sweet, that's pretty good. Frameless.
Yeah.
glass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a shower extension?
Probably not.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Get to work on that.
There
Rob.
is a .fun.
Fun
Yes.
shower.
And
Fun.
Got fun.
yeah, hey, there
There's
you
about
go.
there's over
Mm.
200, like 300, there's around 300 dot domains currently.
Wow.
And so that would, if you were to renew about 300, and you have to renew them every year, and you only get a bonus usually on the first promo year that you buy it at. So you're probably looking at about $3,000. Yeah, $3,000 a year if you were to buy all of them for your business as a business expense that you might be able to write off a little bit. But if you really wanted to own, you just go to Namecheap and you start clicking away.
Hmm.
I might reach back to you on that, Robert, to give me some more info on that one.
For sure.
We're
And you
finding
know how
that,
to redirect them, so it'll be easy.
Yeah.
yeah, we're finding that really helpful to do. It really does work.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it helps your nothing helps your SEO like having that domain name. I mean, it's like that's like the number one thing, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
somebody's searching for something and you've got the domain name that is the search term. It's pretty awesome.
Well, the other big thing are these backlinks that if you can get your link onto somebody's very good site that gets an awful lot of activity, it just shows your relevance. When I was doing the advertising this year with the Red Sox and Twins, they offered me a package to get it advertising with their online advertising portion, or what they call digital. It was expensive, but the benefit was the backlink. So if I was a national company, it would have made a lot of sense. But seeing that it's just in this local area, but if you know the Boston market is just such a huge market, it would have made sense if I was up there.
Right.
Hmm.
You know, it
Yeah.
seems like a shower door professionals backlink might be quite valuable too.
Ooh.
Jafar.
Well, I think that was the whole point, or that was the original point to this whole thing.
Thank
Yep,
you.
yep.
Thanks, Brad. That is exactly.
Yeah.
It was that and lead sharing. That was the original
Lead
thing.
sharing. Absolutely. It's still
You know,
one of the number one things that we want to do is just be able to share
Mhm.
leads, refer each other.
yeah, within this group.
Yeah.
And we're still doing it now, even though we're not as formal.
Right.
But, you know, I'll get a call from somebody and then I'll have a customer from down here that's going up into one of your areas and we'll make that call and say, hey, we know this guy in that area. So if we had a more formalized thing, it would be really good.
Totally.
It's really easy to refer you, Bill, because you have so many locations. If somebody calls from Florida, we can just be like, well, what part of Florida are you in? I'm sure there's a My Shower Door.
Yeah,
So
pretty soon that's going to be true.
Ah, that's awesome.
Uh-oh.
Love it. That is so cool.
Yeah. Except for one area I have no interest in going to.
There's always one.
There's always one area and there's just no interest there.
Just stay out of that neighborhood.
Yep. Well, we're almost there. What else is up?
5 minutes.
I'll make a comment on the branding thing, just to help people's peace of mind later that might go into attack mode. If it's going to happen more and more, there's going to be 100 more companies pop up that are going to steal your branding, steal your logo, because the better you are and the more at the top you are, the more established you look, you would want to be the person they steal from. You can get angry at it and do all that, but ideally, if you're not the person they'll steal from, you should aspire to be. And when you do become that person, you can't stop 100 other brands from copying you, but you can do your best to, along with the trademark, along with the policies, and along with pursuing them and stopping them. What you can also do is, if people in the same town as you try to take your name, take your reputation, you just got to make your voice louder, enhance your brand, be on all the profiles you can, make sure people know exactly what your name is, what your color is, what your everything is, because they can only copy so much about you. And if you're not loud out there and involved with your market that you've had in the past by nurturing emails, sending newsletters, sending something out to say, this is us, this is what we do, we're still here, thanks for using us, or try to use us in the future, then it'll be a way for people to establish you, because everyone can rip off Nike, but I used to wear knockoffs all the time, not knowing they were knockoffs, but everyone knows that RBK is not really Reebok, Rob. Took me 2 years to know that, but it's real. So you just got to make sure everyone else looks like a knockoff and your brand looks like Nike.
Right. Love it. What's the saying? Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, right?
Yeah, but flattery doesn't put money in your pocket. It takes it out.
That's right. Just take the cash, right?
You know, sometimes you gotta be the hard ass, because you've got a business and employees to protect. You know, you got to look at it this way too. They're taking food out of your employees' mouths. It's not you, but if you don't stand up for your employees, there's nobody else that can.
Yeah.
So you have to take that stance.
Yeah.
You know, there's people say, "Oh, you know, why are you doing that? You know, don't you make enough money?" So that's not the point. The point is, all these people work for me. I got to feed their mouths.
Yeah.
And if we don't have enough business, somebody's got to be let go or reduce hours or whatever you got to do. We don't want to do that, because you're not.
You spent building that.
Yeah, of course. Then you're just going to come in and steal it and take it? No, I don't think so. I'll tell you one thing.
The money, the time, all of it.
Had a nice talk with Keith today too, because we're starting to see certain businesses fold up. The economy's really has softened, really has. And you drive down the street and you start seeing these businesses that have closed their doors. They were renting a space, they can't afford the rent. Well, you know, the next thing is pretty soon I'm not able to pay my bill. You know, you got to start watching your builders do all your due diligence with your notice to owners, if your state has that law. Place liens if you have to, but stay really diligent on your collectibles as the economy turns. You know, for the last few years, the economy's been good and people have money, and that hasn't been an issue. But when things get tight again, you got to start doing good business practices again and protect yourselves.
Thanks for bringing that up, Bill, because I've been feeling that it's been getting a little soft as well. I think we're still pretty busy, and that hasn't been a real problem, but we're fighting for it. And you know, when it gets real soft, I think you might start getting calls from new builders that you never heard from before, you know.
Yeah.
And then that could be a sure sign that they're just looking for somebody to get a job done.
And we have no problem with that. The only thing is we're going to get a deposit or get paid first.
Yeah.
We like to use a thing called CDI, and it gets us a nice report on all of the new people that call in, builders and stuff, so we can see what they have out. So we don't, you know, if they're paying 90 days out, you know, we're gonna require either deposits or pay us in full if you're not within our terms. So, or we just don't accept the account too if they have liens and all this type of stuff. So, but it's called CDI, and we use that. It's like $100 a month just for a membership, and you get so much information, leads on sales and stuff like that. You know, it's really resourceful.
Is that CDI World?
I'm not sure. It's called CDI. It's like construction something, but it's called CDI, and it gives you can type in a builder's name, like their actual name or their company name, and it gives you so much stuff from your state, and it's really resourceful. If I can figure it out and share it, I will. But
all right, awesome.
And then, you know, it categorizes like your builders, in the like the top 20 builders in your state, so you can look them up. You can see where they have construction loans at and stuff, and then you can go visit job sites if you want. So
Yeah, our
That's a
local
good
credit
tip.
bureau used to do that here years ago. They would come around to all the companies like us and go through the accounts receivable, and they put out a report every month,
yeah,
contractors, and you know which ones not to work for.
that's what it is, Shannon. So yeah, we use that, and it's very, if you're looking for sales, it's really good. If you want to check on your builders and make sure because I had a builder that went under, he had to do bankruptcy, and I checked the report. I'm like, oh my God, we missed this, and it's, if you stay on top of that, you just reference this place, and if you notice one of your builders getting out there a little bit or acting weird,
Yeah.
check it.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. Because like whenever a new builder contacts me, I always wonder why.
Why?
Why?
Why? I mean, what's going on with, who was doing it before? Have they
That's
been paid?
just the number one question we ask. Why do you want to
Yeah.
switch? What did they do? Like, are we going to make that same mistake? Are we are we
Right.
doing the same thing they're doing, or why are you switching?
Yeah, exactly.
No, we have a guy down the street here, and he showed up on our doorstep, about 10 years ago, and my brother goes, "We've never done work for you. Why are you down here?" And he goes, "Who are you talking to?" He goes, "This is a small community. Your name's real well known, and we're not next in line for you."
Exactly.
I've
for those.
mentioned before that I'm a member of this group of like-minded companies that we've gotten together. There's a HVAC, a fireplace guy, et cetera, all going after, working for the same contractors, and we check with each other all the time. Hey, here's a new one. Have you worked with them? And so other trades might be a good way to figure that out too.
Love it. Yeah, that's a great tip. Thanks, Shannon. And if you're listening on the podcast, that link is cdicredit.com. Shannon posted that for us. Thanks, Shannon. You're awesome. And thanks to the rest of you for showing up. We couldn't do this without you. Hope to see you again next Wednesday. showerdoorprofessionals.com. See you next week.
Thank you.
Good night.
Chris.
Like,
Good night.
Bye, everyone.